Good afternoon. Welcome to Victory Lane. I'm your host, Reverend Lawrence Gray. We're going to continue with our reading with the book, 3 Pennies. We're going to start at page 13. Some things you have to learn as you go, and some things you just know from living the street life. 6 o'clock in the morning, and the voice said, "Good morning, gentlemen. It's time to rise and shine. Please return your blankets and pillows to the front as you leave, and have a nice day." I returned my pillow and blankets to the front counter and received a piece of fruit with a carton of milk and departed with the rest of the men moving in our directions. Ready or not, I had to play the hand that was dealt to me, rather the one I had dealt to myself, with full force. I said to myself, "Okay, God, here we go." I walked up Harrison Street to Folsom, to Howard, and thought about my cousin who lived on Clementina Street, which was about a 5-block walk from the shelter. Some things you have to learn as you go, and some things you just know from living the street life. I figured I had enough heads-up information to get me started, and even more, I had the gift. Man, I thank God for the gift of gab, thinking, knowing, and figuring out how to survive, yet keeping it all above ground, because even in the streets, there are rules, regulations, and principles built on the word respect. If you bring respect, you get respect, and if you don't, you command it. But for the most part, everyone falls into alignment, and if not, oh well, then you would have to suffer the consequences. Otis, my cousin, lived in a low-income housing apartments for the elderly and disabled. They were all mostly Chinese, a few whites, and strange as it was, Otis was the only African-American in the building, of about 300 people. He's kind of slow, but he's a good dude. No one comes and visits him from the family, including me, but he's a good dude. He dresses kind of raggedy, sometimes spots and wrinkles on his clothes, but he's a good dude. He didn't brush his 8 upper teeth or comb his hair, but he's a good dude. He didn't have too many friends, but he's a good dude. He come on flat top, he come grooving up slowly. He got juju eyeballs, he's one holy roly. He got head down to his knees. Got to be a joker 'cause he do what he please. Come together right now over me, the Beatles. I remember seeing that movie, A Hard Day's Night, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, the British invasion. Those white dudes were bad, turned America upside down with their music. I even love the Beatles. I want to hold your hand, I want to hold your hand. Can't buy me love, no, 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 no. Say you don't need no diamond ring and I'll be satisfied. Tell me all the kind of things that money just can't buy. I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love. Well, she was just 17, and you know what I mean. And the way she looked was way beyond compare. How could I dance with another? Woo! When I saw her stand. Been there. That was a trying time. The civil rights movement was just starting to illuminate all over the nation. And going to a movie to see these 4 white dudes was not supposed to be on the agenda for young blacks, especially males. But I love music, white or black. There was no color as long as it sounded good. Even Frank Sinatra, Perry Como, and Andy Williams. He always came around on holidays to get a plate of food from Mama, Aunt Mildred, or Aunt Jean. 4th of July, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Everyone welcomed him, but no one wanted to hang out or was close to him. But he's a good dude who would soon become my best friend. Which apartment is his? I forget. So many buttons, 7 floors, 15 apartments on each. Otis was on Social Security disability, and his caseworker found him this apartment, where he has lived for over 10 years. Someone came out the front door of the building and I walked in and asked the receptionist, "Can you tell me what apartment my Otis lives in? He's my cousin." "Who you see? Who you see?" "My cousin, Otis." "Otis?" "Yes, Otis." Page 14, the TL and Otis. "Yes, Otis. He no here. He no here. You wait in there. What is your name? You must sign in broken English. "Okay, I'm his cousin. Is he at home?" "Oh, no. He leave to store. He be back. You wait, okay? He be back. He back." I said, "Okay." I went in the family room with the big, with big comfortable couches and chairs, watching Good Morning America on the big screen TV as many of the residents came down from their apartments to do their morning Tai Chi exercise, looking at me as if I were a pet at the zoo, a pet that they did not want to see, pet or play with, a pet that they would rather have on the opposite side of the door from where they live. It made me uncomfortable. After about 20 minutes of waiting for Otis and being reminded at least 20 times from the receptionist, "He no here, he no here, you come back, he no here," I just sat there and played dumb as if I did not understand or even hear her speaking. I heard her say, "Oh, Otis, your cousin here, your cousin here." I thought, why she has to say everything twice? "Hey, cuz," I heard Otis say, "What's up?" I said, "Otis, I had a little problem at home trying to get myself together." "No problem," Otis said. "Come on up." He was happy and surprised to see me. As we rode the elevator to the third floor, he flashed a smile of his 8 yellow tobacco, coffee-stained teeth at me, and all I could think of was, why don't some of the family members come and see about Otis? Heck, everybody doing their own thing, including me. I started reminiscing on what Otis used to be. He had a nice car, a good job, working at Bank of America, a nice apartment, and girls. We looked up to Otis because he was the oldest of all the cousins in the family, and he used to have it going on. Now he looked just as bad as some of those men who I seen in the shelter last night. He opened the door, and man, his apartment was a pigsty. Dirty clothes stacked up in the corner, dirty dishes, dirty bathroom, dirty floors, the bed covering dirty. I said, "Come on, Otis, you don't have to live like this." He said, Yeah, I know. I was going to clean up. I started to clean his apartment. He sat down on the bed, lit a cigarette, turned on the television, and began sipping his beer, Country Club malt liquor. His apartment consisted of a table in the kitchen with 2 chairs, the stove and a refrigerator, which were dirty too. As you walk down the hall, past the bathroom, you cannot help but smell the stench of urination from the toilet. There was a chest of drawer, his bed on the other side of the room, along with the chair and a little end table and a stand-up lamp. One thing was for sure is that Otis did have a home and somewhere to lay his head, even if it was the way it was. He still had an advantage over me. He wasn't homeless. "You want some beer, Lawrence?" "Nah, Otis. A little bit too early in the morning for me. I stayed at the homeless shelter last night, and it looks like I'll be staying there many more nights to come. But what I want to know is that if I don't make it to the shelter on time before they close the doors, can I crash at your pad? Don't want to put you out of your way, as if I would." "Okay, cuz, that will be all right." "You saw Peter?" "Nah. He don't even come by or call me. He sure treat me bad to be my brother." "People busy doing their own thing." "Yeah, you too. What brings you by, Lawrence?" "It's a long story. I ain't got nothing but time. I don't want to bore you with it." I see us in the park, strolling the summer days of imaginings in my head and words from our hearts, told only to the wind, felt even without being said. I don't want to bore you with my problems, but there's something about your love that makes me weak and knocks me off my feet. Stevie Wonder. Being a singer, I have always related every situation, every circumstance, and many words of conversation with the song. My daughter Natalie was my stepchild, but I have always looked at her as my daughter from 2 years old. She was 13 at the time. Would get so frustrated with me singing a song about any and everything. She would say, "Lauren, things ain't right." And I would answer say, "Sometimes things just don't turn out right, and you have to say goodbye. I hope you find someone that needs you, someone who cares who never leaves you. But if that someone ever hurts you, you just might need a friend to turn to, and I'll do anything for you." Gloria Esteban in the Miami Sound Machine. Please, Lawrence, not now. Please, 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 don't go. Darling, please, don't go. I love you so. James Brown. Lawrence, can you say something without singing the song? Something in the way she moves, and all I have to do is think of her. Something in the way she woos me. I don't want to leave her now. I know I believe in how. The Beatles. Lawrence, stop. I just want to stop and tell you what I feel about you, baby. I just want to stop. The world ain't right without you, baby. I just want to stop for your love. Nikki Giovanni. Mom, please come get him. He's driving me crazy, Otis said. You don't want to bore me with it, huh? I don't want to bore you with it. Oh, but I love you, I love you, I love you more and more. Music, music, music. I was so full of music, song and dance because that was the only thing that kept my sanity. Music, the universal language of the whole world. Music makes you laugh, makes you cry, makes you want to sing, makes you want to dance. Music, music, music. I've been bored so long, I just appreciate your company. You know, we had some good times. Yeah, I know, Otis. I know what you mean. The TL and Otis. The doorbell rang. Otis jumped up to go and answer the intercom. He said, "Who is it?" The voice on the other end said, "Slim." Otis said, "Okay, okay." He pushed the buzzer and let him in. And I said, "Who is Slim?" A friend of mine. His whole demeanor changed. He became frigid and nervous. I sat back on the bed as Otis ran to the door, waiting for Slim to come in. Otis said, "Hey, Slim." Not knowing that I was in the other room, when Otis answered the door, he said, "You gonna have my money?" And he continued cursing, calling him everything except a child of God as he proceeded down the hall to the bedroom where I sat in one of the chairs. Otis said, "This is my cousin, Lawrence." "Lawrence, this is Slim." He stood about 6 feet 3 inches or so, about 225, just a little bit taller than me at 6 feet and about 30 pounds heavier. "What's up?" he said to me. I said, "Yeah, what's up? My cousin owes you money? That's between him and me." "Fine. I just want you to know that now it is between Otis, you, and me. And I will be looking out for my cousin as long as I am here." "Who are you, his guardian angel?" "Something like that." "I don't care who you are. I want my money, and I expect to get paid." "Okay." I did not want to say too much to this parasite named Slim and make matters worse for Otis. In actuality, it really didn't matter to me what he said. I knew that I was going to help Otis out of this situation, and he was not about to give him all his money when he got his check. Otis says to me, "Hey, Lord, he's all right. He's my friend." I said, "Well, friends don't usually greet each other cussing them out." "Anyway," Slim said, "I want my money when you get your check." I said, "How much does he owe you?" "Like I said, that's between him and me." Otis said, "It's all right, Lawrence. I can handle it." I said, "Okay, but how much do you owe him?" $300. I said, "What?" "Okay, we're going to handle it." Slim said, "We?" I said, "Yeah. As of right now, I am my cousin's financial advisor." He said, "Okay, just pay me. Talk to you later, Otis." He walked him to the door, and I could hear him whispering to Otis in a very stern voice. What he was saying, I could not make out, but it did not make a difference to me one way or the other of whatever was being said, because I had already made up my mind the moment I seen Otis' situation that I was going to help him the best way I could. I decided no one else would take advantage of him as long as I was around, even though I too was battling in my own addiction of trying to get clean and sober. I started quizzing Otis and asking, "Why do you owe this dude?" He said, "I got a loan." "Yeah, I bet. A crack loan, right?" Otis said, "Right." I said, "It's okay, Otis. I'm here now, and believe you me, nobody's going to use you as long as I'm here." Now, I know how the game works, and I'm thinking to myself that this dude has been pimping my cousin. Man, for how long? I didn't know. Nobody comes and see him, but he's a good dude. Nobody calls him on the phone, but he's a good dude. Nobody makes sure he's got food and that no one is taking advantage of him, but he's a good dude. Nobody comes by and blow their horn and say, "Let's take a ride," but he's a good dude. He's my double first cousin. He's my blood, and more than that, he's a good dude. Double first means when brother and sister marry brother and sister of another family. Okay, Otis, check this out. I know that you're on disability, and I don't want your money, and I'm not trying to rip you off, but I want you to know this, that I will not stand and let anyone rip you off. You got that? Yeah, okay, Lawrence. Ring, ring. Otis is so anxious for company and being alone, he jumps up. "Yeah," he answers. "It's Clyde." I said, "Who? Who did he say?" Otis said, "Clyde." "Clyde, our cousin?" "Yeah. He's younger than both me and Otis, at least 10 years, my youth, and probably 15 by Otis. He's been in and out of jail and will steal your socks off if you don't watch him." I said, "Okay, answer the door. Keep him in the front of the kitchen. Offer him something to eat or drink, whatever. I want to know what his business is." Otis said, "He stays here from time to time." I said, "Oh, spare me. Here we go. Everybody in your life is using you, including your cousin. What other cousin is using you?" Otis said, well, Luke his brother comes by from time to time too. Not all the time, and he wants to borrow money sometime." Knock, knock, knock. Otis unlocks the door. "Clyde, remember you're going to have my money?" "What money?" I asked. He didn't know that I was in the bedroom listening. He walked back and seen me and said, "Hey, cuz, what's up?" "Nothing much. How much money do Otis owe you?" $80. I loaned it to him a couple weeks ago." "Okay, we're going to handle it." "What do you mean, we?" "Just like I said, we. As of right now, I'm Otis's financial advisor." It ain't nothing like that." "Whatever. The tables are turned as of right now." Clyde gives Otis some money and asks him to go to the store and buy some beer and cigarettes. He eases back to the bedroom, sits in the chair next to me with the table between us. He break out his crack pipe and some crack. "Hey, cuz, good to see you. Take a hit." I took a hit and exhaled, and he says to me, "Here, cuz, go ahead and smoke. It's cool. I got some more." I'm on my way out of my addiction, and here comes Clyde, keeping it in my face, strung out and tore, but I said it's cool. That's the one thing about addiction. When you are seriously trying to come out of it, someone in the circle will always put it in your face. You got to get out of the circle and change your environment if you are serious about quitting. And I was serious. You got to get out of the circle. I knew his game. He said, "Look, cuz, Otis gets about $800 a month, and his rent is cheap, about $300 a month because of his disability. So, you know," I said, "I don't know nothing. But what I do know is that you and all the rest of these leeches that are around him are stealing his money, and I'm not going to let that happen. Hey, it's enough for you and me, but and he'll still be all right. You must not have heard. You must have not heard what I said to you. Nothing like that is happening anymore. He's going to pay you your $80, and after that, don't give him no more loans, money or crack, because you will not get paid unless I know about it. Oh, you trying to have it all to yourself, cuz. Is that it?" If I were like that, it would be like that, because even if I were lower than dirt, I still would look after him. But I'm not, and it's not like that. And I could care less what you think. But as of now, the party is over for you and anybody else who's been using Otis. Okay, cuz, you don't have to get all serious. I'm more than serious. I'm for real, and that's that. And if anybody got a problem with it, let me know, and we'll go from there. It's cool, cuz. Yeah, I know it's cool, and even if it wasn't, it's still cool. Otis stuck his key in the lock and turned the knob. Hey, Lawrence, you want a beer? I said, okay. I popped the top on the can, took a sip, and began to reflect on how Otis got himself in the condition that he was in. I remember when we were younger kids, going to parties and having fun, and he had his mind right until someone unknowingly killed his father. This beer is good, thanks. Now I got to make some moves and see what the streets are like in the Tenderloin because I got to know my grounds and who's who and what's what. He said, okay, cuz, I'll come with you. I said, look, Otis, I don't want nothing coming to you. I don't want nothing to come to you coming at me. So let me cruise for myself. I'll be back in a couple hours or so. Okay, you gonna be here? Yeah, I'll be here. Strange grounds, I thought as I walked toward the Tenderloin. The TL, the Razor, all the names of the district carried. Strange, but because I was not familiar with the environment of the people within the most dangerous district in the city, Skid Row, the last stop from the penitentiary to the graveyard, or in my case, homelessness, I decided that I'd rather be on the latter end of the other two. Only time would tell. I remember back in our hood in Hunters Point when we would talk about the Tenderloin and say things like, man, you don't never want to get caught in the lion's den, the Tenderloin. I say, yeah, right, man, I'm going to handle whatever and wherever I'm at. Little did I know I was calling my own destiny. Someone said, man, they call it the Razor. I said, is that right? Yeah, you'll get cut to shreds in a heartbeat. Those words were fresh in my mind as I said to myself, now here I go, taking the plunge, living in the lion's den, not knowing who or what was waiting to devour me. But one thing was for certain, and this I knew, that I was on a new stomping grounds, and I had to know some of the players. Not all, but some. As I approached the den heading up 6th Street, I seen all the lowlifes hanging around from Fleabag Hotel to Fleabag Hotel, from the stores that mainly sold liquor to pawn shop, just hanging, shooting the breeze, people doing that, smoking dope and drinking. There were at least 3 hotels on each side of the street in a 3-block radius. I would learn later that these hotels house all types of people, doing the drug thing included. I passed by the crowd not anxiously, but rather as if I belonged in the element, because they can tell if you do not, and if they sense the slightest hint of fear, boom, they were on you somewhere down the line as you tarried in the streets. I walked into the store, went to the refrigerator, bought a soda, popped the top, kept walking, paid for it. As I passed, going to the front door, someone said, where you from, dude? Challenge was at me. Anytime someone speaks to you and you do not know that someone, and that someone knows everyone around you, then it's a challenge to determine if you are a sucker or not. Your answer could mean your life. I looked at him and walked out, proceeding up the street to my destination. Sometimes no response is the best response, especially in the streets. I proceeded up 6 streets across Mission to Market, heading toward Taylor Street, on my way through the heart of the Lion's Den to Glide Memorial Church. It was about 11 a.m. It was a good time to be on the streets because most of the nightlife people, the walking dead, were recuperating from the night before of all their shenanigans of illegal activity. I walked across the street to Glide at Taylor and Ellis Street, stood in line with all the people waiting to be admitted down into the cafeteria for lunch at 11:30 to 1 p.m. And then they open again from 4:30 to 6 p.m. for dinner. And breakfast 8 a.m. to 10 o'clock every day, except 7 days a week, except Sundays, when they only served a bag lunch because they were closed for church services. It's a strange church. At least it was strange to me, being raised in a black Baptist church. I went to a service one day and noted that the congregation was mostly built up of the gay community, homosexuals and lesbians, transvestites, and the like, headed by the great pastor of the city, Cecil Williams. Whatever, I said, to each his own. It just goes to show that if you want a church to preach what you want to hear and accept you for who you are, you can find it, especially in San Francisco. As I was walking to the church, trying to figure out my dilemma and how I would prevail, nothing seemed to make sense. Strung out on crack had finally took its toll, and here I stand, homeless, nobody, no money, no home, no stay, no crack. Page 21. God bless you. God keep you. Tune in next week for 3 pennies from hell to heaven.